Welcome back. The resurgence of heroin has grown to just epidemic levels in Kentucky.
And we're joined today by Vanessa Keeton with Addiction Recovery Care.
Vanessa hid a dark side from her family.
You see, as a child and a young teen, there is no one in my life who would have ever imagined I would have become a drug addict.
Vanessa began shooting up pills, lost her job, stole to support her habit, and did some time in jail.
Vanessa Keeton was the first client to ever walk through the doors at Addiction Recovery Care.
Vanessa Keeton, Vice President of Marketing, grew up in Martin County and spoke about her drug addiction the first time she took drugs.
New data from the CDC shows more than 2,300 Kentuckians died due to drug overdoses in 2021.
And Vanessa, we do appreciate you speaking with us on the occasion of these troubling numbers.
And Vanessa, you have your own story to tell. God uses my story every day as hope for people who walk through the doors in any of the facilities around ARC.
That's mine.
You owe me money.
This is mine.
You owe me money. That's my property.
This is mine.
Picked up on that.
I feel like there's a lot more to know about me than, just being ARC's first client. That's awesome. Can you start moving me? I ended up, just by chance, being the one who decided to truly recover out loud. I decided early on that, I was going to make it a mission, part of the mission in my life, that if I could do it, I wanted everyone else to know that they could do it too. And so, people, that's what I've been known for years and years. I started using drugs and alcohol, honestly, to fit in. And this whole thing of, I was completely obsessed with the thought of wanting to be cool. And I thought that those people, they were cool in my eyes at that time, which is so weird. But that's kind of what started me into dabbling in and trying drugs and alcohol. And I had no idea that I was going to be one of those people who couldn't stop. And then it ended up robbing 13 years of my life.
We would see her at Easter and Christmas, and that was about it. I never thought she would hurt anybody. That was never part of it. But the fear of waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning and something told you to wake up and pray because you hadn't heard from her in 2 days.
In the beginning of my addiction, my mom, she did not want to admit to herself or anyone else that I could possibly have had a problem. But then as the dynamic started to change and my addiction started to get worse, she saw me begin to dwindle away. And she saw the girl that was once vibrant and young and full of life, just that fire inside of me started going away. She got to the point finally at the very, very end where I wasn't allowed to come to her house anymore. And I cannot imagine as a mother telling my child that they can't come to my house anymore. But that was the best thing that she could have ever done.
I was the mother who said, you don't quit because you don't want to quit. And I understand now that was the wrong answer.
They knew Vanessa. I'm a natural strategizer, so I could figure out 4 different escape routes to anywhere I was going. They knew what I was doing then. They had kept up with me enough to know that there were times where I was bringing drugs back to Martin County when I was living out of town. And I definitely had a target on my back.
My name is Garner David Priest. I was at Martin County Sheriff for 12 years. All the deputies knew Vanessa. They knew that she hung around with people that took drugs and sold drugs. And if I could find a reason to get her off the street, I did that.
When I was in the courtroom for the charges that I had received in fall of 2010, Keenis Maynard was the county attorney at the time, and he had watched me grow up my whole entire life. His son went to school with my sister, and he looked at me that day in front of the judge and said, "I will not have your death on my conscience. You are going to do a year in jail, or you are going to go to treatment." And my mom stepped in, and if it wasn't for her, I would have still never made it through the doors at Karen's place.
She was gone from my house 6 days before she called back and said, "They've got a bed for me, and I will go to treatment if you will help me." And I said, "I'll help you if you mean it, but if you don't, I'm out."
I would have never imagined that I would be where I'm at in life. My whole idea of people like me, what happened to them was they were going to be found dead with a needle in their arm one day. Like, that was really the only hope that I had for my life at all. I mean, I tell people all the time I couldn't have dreamed of the life that I have today when I was a kid. Like, when you're in 2nd or 3rd grade dreaming of what kind of life you want to have, the life that I could have dreamed of then wasn't nearly as good as the life I have today.
When I see her, I see hope. And when I see her, I can see what God can do in people's lives.
God allowed her to live through all that mess to bring her to where she is now so she can help other people.
Whom I'm most thankful for. When it comes to my recovery journey, I'm the most thankful for my mom. If it wasn't for my mom, there's no way that I would have made it through the doors there. I tell people all the time, I'm like, "I'm so sorry you don't have a Conchita." I'm so sorry that you don't, and I tell other people, I'm like, be a Conchita for someone, be that person that goes the extra mile to see that they actually make it there. Help them navigate the hard things when it comes to hopping through all the hoops that it takes to hop through, to make the phone calls and make the connections and all these things. Like, help someone do that, because if it wasn't for her, I would have never made it.